and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Got a story for the people. What is going on?
I have this fascinating story. So obviously, I think like a lot of people watching, we've been sort of watching the Twitter dumpster fire just intensify, turn into like a trash cyclone. Now there's like sharks in it. And so I wanted to cover this story because it's sort of a serious side of this story, and it has to do with uh, a senator who is now coming after Elon Musk, not because of anything else than Elon Musk was rude to him on Twitter, and now he's threatening not just Twitter but his other companies with his power because he was mean to him. And I'm starting this story, Kit, after the section after the misinformation and imposters account. You scroll down. It's starting with the on Thursday, my colleague.
Okay. There we go. Hold
A
on.
little bit lower, right there.
Okay, there we go.
Let's put the story right there. So I'm gonna kind of go through the story. This is, by the way, so just context why I picked this specific version of the story. It's written by the Washington Post. There. Who is owned by Jeff Bezos, maybe the largest competitor to Elon Musk. So we have a direct competition, photocopying sort of what everyone else has written in a company owned by Amazon, by Jeff Bezos. And so we're going to go through sort of what happened, and I'm going to explain how terrifying and fascistic this whole situation is. And then we have a sort of an addendum from Jimmy Dore at the end of all this. Good. So because effectively my thesis is that we're gonna see play out is this is corporations issuing orders to elected officials who are then issuing orders to their competition. So on Thursday, my colleague Jeffrey A. Fowler created an impersonating Senator Jay Markley account received the verified status. So first of all, I want to say first foremost out of the bat, Jeffrey Fowler is a criminal. What he did under U.S. law, and of course Twitter policy, is not allowed. It's a crime to impersonate someone like that. So my good colleague, criminal Jeffrey Fowler, this reminds me, Kit, remember when I was talking about the story about how back when YouTube only took 100 subscribers to get into the monetization program?
I remember that.
I forget which, it might have been, I think it was Vox, it might have been someone else, went to a white supremacist page that had like 150 subscribers. Every video would get like 5 or 10 views. And they hit refresh 120 times until the video popped up with a dove. It reminds me of this. So it's basically saying, hey, my friend knowingly and illegally made an impersonation account with a verification. And then that verification was used to say stuff about a senator. And that senator, instead of getting upset at the people simply creating it, is now going after Elon for that verification system, which has already been taken down before it started.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to also say this before I read any more of this, I think was the biggest reason I picked this story with this person. He gets, I think, maybe the most funding from the competition of Twitter, of anyone. It's all telecommunications that he gets. He's like, I'm sure Disney and AT&T and Comcast. It's like to the point that I've heard that he doesn't really even have to campaign for money from the people. He gets so much money from the competition of Twitter, which is why I started this by saying it's competition influencing politics to go after competition. So we're going to continue. Markley bashed Musk in a letter on Friday. Again, this is the guy who takes, I think it might be the most money from for the most money. Everyone, I know everyone's at my quality. I know. Just deal with it. You can be adult enough. Don't be offended. Anyway, ready that this rapid and hazardous, haphazard imposition of platform changes, removal of safeguards against disinformation, and firing a large number of Twitter employees have accelerated Twitter's descent into the Wild West of social media. Has anyone met Twitter? Has anyone met Twitter in their life? Can you tell me a point in time where Twitter hasn't been those things? things right now. Like, you could at least arguably with Elon that he's trying to change it, even if he fails and the entire thing blows up. More people are trying right now to make Twitter not that, arguably, than any time before. So I just think it's very funny. Anyway, so Musk was openly mocked and crudely. Okay, so right. So Musk was openly mocked and clearly derided. The lawmakers in the past appeared unfazed by the initial heat from officials in Capitol Hill. He responded to Merkley's letter in a tweet that by dismissing the senator's concern around faker accounts and mocking the senator. Remember, you know what this also reminds me of? Cops. What is the worst crime you can commit in America? Attacking a cop's honor. What is the worst crime you can commit against Markley? Attacking his honor. So he dismissed the senator's concerns, and here's the exchange where he says, perhaps because your real account sounds like a parody, and why does your profile picture have a mask, is what Elon responded. Now, of course, this is, of course, the most egregious crime a billionaire has ever committed if you watch mainstream media. If you watch, and then the amount of people that were like, that weren't like, hey, Elon, here's insert specific thing about the platform that is making it worse or lowering freedom of speech or anything. It was, Elon, how dare you speak that way to a senator? Use some decorum. Even a People for Bernie account pushed that. So,
No.
He shot that. So Markley said that if Musk didn't fix his companies, Congress will. Which of course they say every now and then, but not so strongly. And again, he's literally saying, I don't like what you're saying to me, a senator, so I'm going to take my power. And because Washington Post doesn't go into all the articles that sort of cover this, he effectively threatened Tesla, not Twitter, because he's on the transportation board. And so he's like, well, I'm not going to go after the company that I say is the right issue, because it's definitely not that you offended me. But I am going to say that I'm going to go hard on on Tesla, an unrelated entity, because you hurt my feelings. This goes to show they don't care when billionaires do things. When a billionaire oil company or a company that does mercenaries kills people, whatever. So what if we just had the biggest oil spill ever that two kids on an ATV found? It's a small fine. We'll take care of the problem. Don't. That guy said that my Twitter account sounded like a parody. Ooh, I'm taking down all your companies because I'm reasonable.
Dan, the thing is, this should show you how thin-skinned a lot of our politicians are, and I guess the statement is true. We are ruled by a lot of elected officials who have not emotionally matured since high school. Again, look, a politician. My personal opinion about these senators, these House representatives, these presidents, they don't deserve our respect because they don't respect us. Okay. We don't owe them any kind of special favors or any kind of privileges or any kind of special thanks because they've effectively abandoned us. They don't like you. They don't think about you and they don't respect you. And Daniel, I said this on Tuesday's show. I'm gonna say it here with you as well. I made the joke that, oh, if you vote Democrat or Republican, or you believe in Santa Claus and all these other little fairy tales. No, I take that back. If you vote Democrat or Republican, you're voting for a thin-skinned abuser to keep on slapping you around. This whole idea of Markey, Ed Markey, Senator Ed Markey, saying, "Oh, we're going to fix Elon Musk's company," is because his ego and his pride got damaged because Musk made fun of him. Well, big deal. That's tame. Have you not been paying attention to the internet, Senator? It is a cesspool of slime and raw sewage. That's tame compared to how other people are talked to in this worldwide internet. Okay, so the World Wide Web, that's tame. And all of a sudden, oh, you get offended. But see, here's the thing: this opens up Pandora's box towards, oh, well, if someone said this about me and I'm in a position of power, I can regulate them and then take control, or either that systematically end their entire livelihood or career and hold them accountable for hurting my feelings.
And this is the other thing that it's like, if we lived in a fair and just society, like, I'm going to go off a slightly different topic on this topic. So this also has to do with, now they're also, the SEC is threatening to go after Twitter because they have some Saudi ownership. Twitter's always had Saudi ownership. Fox News, for most of its history, was a quarter owned by the Saudis. No one thought that it was prudent to go after Twitter or anything else the Saudis have owned. It just so happens that when Elon Musk takes over, all of a sudden now there's some questions that we may have to answer. Here's the reality of the situation. Elon's not in their club. He's in a separate club. And I also think that Elon thought that Republicans were going to win a big red wave. And I think that's a big reason why he's been talking so pro-Republican the last couple months. I think that's, if he knew that the election would have happened the way it did, I think he would have changed his word. I don't think he has any real connection to either side. But at the same time, as soon as he did, remember Elon Musk when he was seen as a Democrat? Democrats loved him, just like Trump. They loved, oh, thank you. You're giving us so much money. Look at all these amazing things you're building. Look at how great you are. We love you. We, the Democratic Party, love Elon Musk. Elon Musk starts going against the great sickness. I'm still not sure if I can say anything on that. Thanks, YouTube, for that. Or anything else. And he starts flipping over to Republicans because I think he thinks that they're going to win. What happens? Oh my God, Elon Musk is evil, and he has, oh my God, there's Saudi money involved in the stuff he does. Oh my God, his cars have a safety rating that's better than regular cars, but still not zero. Oh man, we really got to look into this. Meanwhile, oil companies, pipelines are exploding, no big deal. Meanwhile, we have mercenaries doing worse for us, no big deal. Meanwhile, all the things that we cover every day are happening, no big deal. It's literally that Elon is Elon is proving how fickle and finite and how non-consistent, except to pick team preference, all of this is. Because as the richest person, well, is he anymore? I know he's lost like $100 billion in value, which is sort of funny in its own right. But this whole thing shows that they only go after people they don't like personally. Not that are doing things wrong objectively.
All right. And also real quick, I want to give an acknowledgement. Shout out to the wonderful Fair and Balance. So again, if you haven't seen her host the show with me on Monday or follow her own work that she does on her own, please do so. She actually said, love you guys. Keep up the great work. Keep on fighting. She also goes on to say Markey has been a senator for Massachusetts since 2013, was a congressman before that, starting in 1976. What has Ed Markey done or accomplished? Don't worry. I'll wait for the big bad Ed. Run, run scared. No, here's the thing. Again, shout out again to Farron. Also, real quick, she writes, senators and congressmen believe they should automatically be given respect no matter what. Oh, they do. That's so adorable with a winky kissy face. These politicians don't deserve our respect. They don't. And again, they don't. Show me why they deserve our respect. I think Farron's actually sent the same message twice. Thank you so much for the YouTube super chats, Farron. We do appreciate that so much. Be sure to check out her work.
She's another one.
She did? There's another one. Oh my goodness.
I gotta be here to tell you that.
All right, hold on. Let me go ahead and I see that one there. Why isn't it showing?
Do you
Let me
want
go
me to
ahead.
read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna get really white for a second. Okay. Markley has been a senator for Massachusetts since 2013, was a congressman before starting in 1976. What has Ed Markley done or accomplished? Don't worry. I'll wait. Big bad Ed, run scared.
Actually, Farron mentions in the chat that she did send it twice because I read it first before the $5 one. So thank you so much, Farron. We do appreciate all the support. But again, I just want to go quote her on this one too. When I've had her on the show, a lot of these politicians are thinking years ahead for their career. So I guess Markey, good old Senator Markey, is trying to think, oh, I could take on the big bad Elon Musk, and maybe people will consider me this bad politician.
Most of his money for re-election comes from the people that compete with Twitter. So again, it's the person who makes most of their money from the big tech companies that aren't Twitter is getting, and that's the other thing that gets me. The Washington Post is openly admitting that they committed a crime. No one seems mad at them. They're saying, yes, I actively created an account to impersonate a senator that was verified. I went against Twitter TOS. The account was taken down. It's like that's why it reminded me they're forcing a confrontation to happen because they want to fight Elon.
Yeah.
And again, the people that are doing this work for the Washington Post, another competitor to Elon.
My goodness. So we actually got a video from Jimmy Dore that you want to play here too. So do you want me to pull that up?
Yeah, this is just a little addendum to what we were saying.
All right. So again, folks, again, I find it depressing that you have a lot of people who vote Democrat be on board with, again, trying to silence and suppress anyone that thinks differently than them. Guess what? Newsflash, folks. You're going to run into so many people that think differently than you. But you know what? It's, again, we're walking into a world of further censorship.
And now, and watch this, by the way. This is an interview with they're going to ask how often does the FBI actually talk with social media people? Watch this.
Have any of you met with the FBI about misinformation? Again, I don't want any details about the case, about the country. Just when was the last time you had a conversation about something you saw? I'll start with Mr. Salgado.
These are routine conversations. I won't say that they're necessarily weekly.
I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to be mature here, but that guy looks like a skinny twig that I could break with my knee. I'm sorry. I just looking at that guy, I feel like, Daniel, even if you pushed him with your finger, you might break him in two.
I would never attack someone for the content of their bone structure or lack of content.
Man, in prehistoric times, you would have been eaten or been used by like a toothpick by a saber-toothed tiger.
But it starts to approach the conversational cadence that we have.
These are routine. So big tech and the intelligence communities in America, they have routine meetings. I don't want to say weekly, but yeah, weekly. And they tell them who to censor, when to censor, how hard. And now we know this has been going on. They admit it. Here it is.
I'm fine to be open about this. There's nothing classified about it. They tend to be largely with the local field office out here in California. With sometimes they're ad hoc, and we also have a regular cadence of meetings.
This is called the banality of evil. Look at this guy. This guy's doing the evil. This guy, this Poindexter.
He looks like it too. He does look like the kind of person that's been bullied all his life, and when he's finally in a position of power, he becomes worse than the bullies that used to take his lunch money.
Well, that's literally describing cops. I mean,
yeah, I know. But see, but this is the kind of guy. He looks like it too. Like meetings, like he decides who to censor and who not to censor. He looks like that person. I know there's a few more seconds into it.
But yeah, let's finish this few seconds.
Neck is the guy implementing fascism. It's called the banality of evil. It's just what we do. We get together and with the, just to make sure we're doing best practices on censoring people at the behest of government and corporations, which came together.
Mm-hmm. My God.
So this is the point of sort of the other thing that I think Elon's definitely doing that I don't know this, but it makes sense based on his personality and everything he's talked about is he's trying to make the law. He's trying to make Twitter like, hey, look, if you make a law, we'll follow it. But if you don't make a law, don't expect us to do anything. We do what we want. This is Twitter versus everyone. I still think to this day that there was some meeting that happened with the Biden administration that was like, okay, here's another list of names. We don't like the news they're telling. Shadow ban them. Take them out. And so here we are. I think that there's no way for me to prove it. But we know it's happened with other people. And so everyone else is already in bed. The FBI is already, and all these other places. We already went over this. Like, again, when Black Lives Matter was a really big movement before they got bought out and corrupted by the Democratic Party, it was local sheriff unions that were telling Facebook to take down their Facebook pages. When BDS was in a bigger swing trying to protect the Palestinians, it was Israel that threatened Facebook if they didn't take down with taking away their access if they didn't take down BDS pages. So again, my point with this is we're in a more free society if a billionaire owns Twitter than if the government behind the scenes forces billionaires that own Twitter on what to say. But that's the other thing. Everyone was like, oh my God, a billionaire owns Twitter. Have you looked at the ownership of Twitter previously? It's all hedge funds and banks and investment banks that owned it, that were all run by billionaires. But that's okay because they're more controllable.
I think one other note I like to add to this story, these politicians, they will censor you. These politicians are putting in place systems that will keep you in place. And you know what? When we got gut checked in 2020 and that we're still recovering from it, folks, it's people like that, again, it was shown on the Jimmy Dore show. That's the face of real evil right there. Censorship is never the answer. Now, look, I don't know what Elon Musk is going to do with Twitter in a year from now or even 6 months. Hey, Daniel, we need 6 months. But you know, it's rather again revealing just what they will do. Those in power will do to silence and suppress those that think differently, and they will do everything they can to silence stories as well. Remember, they silenced the Hunter Biden laptop story, and that wasn't fake news. That was real news.